All right, the book of Job. We're going to be speaking concerning the book of Job and when trials come. We're going to be speaking specifically, going to be from chapter 33. Yeah. Let's jump right in. Okay, yeah. I know we're going to get to 33, but we're starting off at 32. Because we have to give like a little introduction. You know, Job 32:6 says, and Elihu, the son of Barakel, the Buzite, answered and said, I am young, and ye are very old. I guess they were old, huh? Wherefore I was afraid and durst not show you mine opinion. I said days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. Great men are not always wise, neither do the age understand judgment. Therefore hearken to me, I also will show mine opinion. Behold, I waited for your words. I gave ear to your reasons while ye searched out what to say. Yea, I attended unto you, and behold, there was none of you that convinced Job or that answered his words. You know, and this was intro by Elihu. Elihu means El of him, you know, or El is his. And his father's name, Barakel, means blessed of Elohim. And Booz actually means disrespect, but this guy was actually very respectful. He was very respectful. We see he says, I said days should speak and multitude of years should teach wisdom. That was respecting his elders. Amen. You know, and but he did in doing that. You know, he was also wise in doing that. He was able to see that, you know, just because you're old don't make you wise. And just because, you know, you've been around a long time don't mean that you understand Yah's judgment. So he says, you know, hey, you know, I'm going to give my 2 cents. Everybody else, I done heard everybody else. And they went on and on and on for, you know, a good 30 chapters, right? You know, so he was there listening for a while. And he says, hey, I waited for your words. I gave ear to your reasons. But none of y'all, you know, convinced Job or even answered his words, which was true. And there's a reason that I chose Elihu. And the reason I chose Elihu is because, you know, when Yah began to speak to Job, you know, he said some of the same things that Elihu actually said. And not only that, when he got finished speaking to Job, then he spoke to, I think his name was Eliphaz, and he told him, you in trouble. Well, he didn't say it just like that, but you know, but he was telling him that, you know, hey, you didn't speak rightly concerning me, you nor your 2 friends. And he told him, go and get 7 bulls and bring them, I think it was bulls, and bring them to Job, and that was, of course, was supposed to be a peace offering. Bring them to Job and ask him to pray for you guys. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, that right there, we can do a whole lesson on that right there. But anyway, he told them to bring 7 bulls over to Job and told them to ask Job to pray for them. Now, here's the kicker, because this is important, and it oftentimes get overlooked. It wasn't until after Job prayed for them that he restored Job. See, showing the principle that if you don't forgive, you can't be forgiven. And because Job forgave his trespassers, so did Yah forgive the trespass that he had made against him. You know, so I figured I'd throw that in there. That was just bonus. Let me have my first reader read Job 33, 1 through 7.
Wherefore, Job, I pray thee, hear my speeches, and hearken to all my words. Behold, now I have opened my mouth, my tongue hath spoken in my mouth. My words shall be of the uprightness of my heart, and my lips shall utter knowledge clearly. The Ruach of Elohim hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life. If thou canst answer me, set thy words in order before me, stand up. Behold, I am according to thy wish in Elohim's stead. I also am formed out of the clay. Behold, my terror shall not make thee afraid, neither shall my hand be heavy upon thee.
Hallelujah. You know, now here it is. We have young Elihu. He said, he's again asking him, you know, make sure you hear me, because, you know, his words, he's telling them in verse 3, my words shall be of uprightness of my heart. It should be of the uprightness of my heart, and my lips shall utter knowledge clearly. You know, and he tells Job, behold, in verse 6, I am according to thy wish in Elohim's stead. You know, and the previous sayings of Job, one of the things that he said and prayed for was that he wished that he could speak to Elohim to present his case. You know, and so here it is, Elihu saying, hey, behold, I am according to thy wish in Elohim's stead. I'm going to speak for him. And he let him know, I also am formed out of clay. Behold, my terror shall not make thee afraid, because if Elohim come, you're going to be shaking in your boots, buddy. You know, but I'm just like you, and neither shall my hand be heavy upon thee. I'm not here to harshly judge you and beat you over the head, you know, when you're already in despair. You know, and you know, I truly do believe that Yah was speaking through this young man, because as I said previously, you know, Yah rebuked Eliphaz and the other two, but because their words wasn't right, you know, concerning him, but he never said anything about Elihu. He never said anything about his words wasn't right. And actually, he said some of the same, he reiterated some of the same points that Elihu made, including this one, because, you know, he was quite afraid. Job was quite afraid when Yah began to speak to him. Let me have my next reader read verses 8 through 15.
Surely thou hast spoken in my hearing, and I have heard the voice of thy words, saying, I am clean without transgression. I am innocent, neither is there any iniquity in me. Behold, he findeth occasion against me. He counteth me for his enemy. He putteth my feet in the stocks. He marketh all my paths. Behold, in this thou art not just. I will answer thee that Elohim is greater than man. Why dost thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters. For Elohim speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, in slumbering upon the bed.
Yeah, see, now, there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom found in these words right here, for sure. He says, surely thou hast spoken in mine hearing, and I have heard the voice of thy words. And you said, I am clean without transgression. I am innocent, neither is there iniquity in me. You know, now he was okay until he got to, you know, well, Job was okay until he got to verse 10 where Elihu points out, behold, he findeth occasions against me. He counteth me for his enemy. He putteth my feet in the stocks. He marketh all my paths. You know, and Elihu tells him in verse 12, behold, in this thou art not just. You're not right. You're not right with this one. You was okay up until then, but right there, you're wrong. And he truly was wrong. You know, because Yah did not find of occasion against him. We know that to be true because we know the beginning of the story, right? Yah did not count of Job for his enemy, did he? You know, and in all actuality, it was just the opposite. Yah did not put of his feet in the stocks. He did not mark all his paths. Job was wrong. He was falsely accusing Yah because he didn't understand what was going on. You know, but that's no excuse to accuse Yah. And sometimes we find ourselves in situations and circumstances, and we wanna accuse Yah for what we don't understand. See, but I love this passage right here. Because he goes on to say in verse 13, why doest thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters. Why are you striving against Elohim? He don't have to give an account to little old you. How come you just can't trust and believe that he is just and that he has your best interests at heart no matter what you go through? And then he tells them, for Elohim speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. Yah will speak to you. He speaks to us. See, but oftentimes when he speaks to us, we don't understand how he's speaking to us. You know, sometimes it's in a dream or in a vision of the night when deep sleep falleth upon men and slumberings upon the bed. You know, sometimes he speaks to us through our dreams, and we just don't understand what he's saying to us. You know, I know when he first began to speak to me, I had no idea. Not only did I have no idea what he was saying, I had no idea it was him. You know, but, I encourage everyone to learn how Yah speaks to them. You know, because he does, with some people he do speak in dreams and in visions, and other people he speak in other ways. He spoke to Moshe face to face. You know, but point being, he does speak to us. And we just don't understand. And he does it more than once. He speaketh once, and yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. You know, see, we have to learn, and we have to be, especially when we're going through trials, when trials come. When trials come upon us, we have to, as Solomon said, consider. When trials come, consider. Well, am I on top of my square? Did I fall off somewhere? Did I stray off the straight and narrow? Did I fall to the wayside? And if the answer is no to all of that, then you move forward. But never, at no point, do you strive against Yah. At no point do you accuse him. Because he has nothing but our best interests at heart. And this is truly where Job went astray. This is where he left the path. This is where he transgressed. And this young man, Elihu, called him on it. Let me have my next reader read 16 through 23.
Then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. He keepeth back his soul from the pit, and his life from perishing by the sword. He is chastened also with pain upon his bed, and the multitude of his bones with strong pain, so that his life abhorreth bread, and his soul dainty meat. His flesh is consumed away, that it cannot be seen, and his bones that were not seen stick out. Yea, his soul draweth near unto the grave, and his life to the destroyers. If there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness.
Yes. Thank you. Now, this is another awesome passage, because it picks up from where the last one left off. Okay, and it aligns with this analogy that I oftentimes utilize when I'm trying to witness to people. You know, and I try to tell him that, you know, Yah will come and speak to you, you know. He may come in a small, still voice at first, you know, so small and so still that you don't even hear him. You hear him, but you just don't take heed, you know. Well, I thought I heard something. You know, but then he'll say it a little louder. You know, and then you may hear him but not really understand. But then he say it a little louder and a little louder and a little louder until eventually he just smacks you upside the head. You know, and I always tell people, Yah is heavy-handed. You know, he's a great big L. He has great big hands and great big strength. You know, when he hits you, you know it. You know, but I bring that up because Elihu here is saying something very similar. You know, if we go back to verse 15, he's talking about Elohim. He speaks to you once and twice, yet man perceive it not. You know, then in verse 16 he tells us, then he opened up the ears of man and seal up their instruction. So he makes sure he gets his point across to you. Now you know what he's saying, and you understand what he's saying, and he seals it up within you so that you know. Now, if you still disobey, now you know you're gonna get popped. You know, but he does it for a purpose. He does it for a purpose, and verse 17 tells us that he may withdraw man from his purpose. Whatever you may be about to do, something that's going to get you in trouble with him. You may be about to do something that's going to have detrimental effects, you know, on you. You know, so he speaks to you. You know, he speaks to his. He speaks to him once and maybe twice, and then he makes sure he get his point across. You know, that he may withdraw you from your course of action and hide pride from you. See, because he hateth pride. That's one of the things that he hates. You know, and so if he hates pride, we should hate pride. And so he'll speak to us. You know, he'll try to get our attention so that he don't have to put his heavy hand on our behind. See, and we have to understand that. We have to, you know, when trials come, we have to consider. You know, and then once he give you those instructions, and once you feel in your heart that you done heard from him, you better not go against it. Because his whole purpose is to withdraw you from your course of action. And sometimes we say, I'm going to do it anyway. And then after the bad happened, someone was telling me not to do that. Yeah, that was Yah. Absolutely. But because of your pride, because you wanted to do what you wanted to do, because you wanted the perceived results you thought you were going to receive from doing that, you went on ahead and done it. See, but not knowing that Yah, in verse 18, he teaches us, Elihu teaches us, he keepeth back his soul from the pit. He's trying to keep your soul from the pit and your life from perishing by the sword. He's trying to protect you.
That's right.
And if he have to, sometimes he'll even chasten you with pain upon the bed. Sometimes he'll give you pain upon the bed. He'll cause you, you know, to have to sit down for a while. You know, lay it down for a while. You know, and the multitude of his bones with strong pain. You know, sometimes he, you know, because you're going in the wrong way, and he really wants you to repent. You know, this is why Solomon says, you know, when trials of life come on you, when these things come on you, consider. Consider, is Yah speaking to you? Is he chastising you? Is he trying to get you to turn from your course of action? Is he trying to keep your soul back from the pit? Is he trying to keep you from perishing by the sword? This is real important. You know, these are the things that he'll do. Like verse 20 says, so that his life, he'll bring you to the point to where your life abhor of bread, your soul dainty meat. He's talking about you at the brink of death. Your bones sticking out. Your soul draws near to the grave. You're about to die. You know, and sometimes the only thing that'll save you, see, because you're not getting the message. That's why you're about to die. Because you didn't hear the dreams and you didn't understand how Yah was speaking to you. You didn't consider, you know, that this is the chastisement of the Most High. And he's doing all this to try to save your soul from the pit. He's doing all this trying to keep you from perishing. See, but you just not getting it. All you stuck on is your pity party. Woe is me. See, and it's the same thing that Job was. You know, he just concentrating on his pity party. Woe is me. Why is this happening to me? I didn't do nothing. Not trusting Yah that he's going to work. Even if something bad does happen in your life, you got to trust that Yah is going to work it out for good. We know we have an adversary. So if we know we have an adversary, then why we act surprised when stuff happens? You got to think this thing out. You got to consider it. Now here's the thing right here in verse 23. He says, you know, see, because you obviously not getting it. Here it is. He done spoke to you in dreams, or however he was speaking to you. He spoke to you once. He spoke to you twice. You didn't get it. You still didn't get it. Now you're chastised with pain. You're on your back. You know, your bones is showing. You near death. You still don't get it. And then he sends you a messenger. It says in verse 23, if there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one can help you understand how Yah is communicating to you. One among 1,000, they're few and far between, to show unto man his uprightness. If someone can show you where you went astray so that you can get back on the straight and narrow and get back into the good graces and favor of the Most High. Hallelujah. You know, if he sends someone to you, you know, then you may be able to be saved. You know, hence we see in Yaakov or James 5:19 and 20, it says, brethren, if any of you do err from the truth and convert him, if any of you err from the truth and one convert him, let him know that he which converteth the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death and shall hide a multitude of sins. See, this is real important. See, because sometimes Yah sends the messenger and you don't hear the messenger either, or the person don't hear the messenger either. You know, and so when it's judgment time, you know, Yah is going to point all these things out. He's going to point out where he spoke to you, and you know, and you're gonna know, okay, oh, that was you. I kind of thought that was, yeah, it was me. You know, and I even sent the messenger too. And you didn't hear them either. You know, you're without excuse. And that's how Yah does. You know, he gives us every chance so that we'll be without excuse. You're not going to have any excuses when you come before him. You have to know and understand that. You're not going to have any excuses. There's not going to be nothing you can say to get you out of your judgment that's coming to you. Whatever you need to say it now. You know, you can't wait till after, you know, you're resurrected and then, you know, start plead your case. No. You have a chance right now. And if you see someone going through something to that effect, hey, maybe Yah can use you as that messenger. Maybe you can help them interpret what's going on in their life and show them the righteousness of Elohim. Show them how to be upright in his sight. Show them how to keep from erring from the truth and help convert them over to a path of righteousness. It's a great reward in that for you. Let me have my next reader read verses 24 through 27.
Then he is gracious unto him, and saith, deliver him from going down to the pit. I found a ransom. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. He shall pray unto Elohim, and he will be favorable unto him, and he shall see his face with joy, for he will render unto man his righteousness. He looketh upon man, and if any say, I have sinned and perverted that which was right, and it profited me not.
Okay, can you see what's happening here? Here it is, you had a messenger come to him, and he interprets the situation unto him, you know, trying to get them to convert from the error of their ways, you know, and he says, you know, then if they do that, then Yah is gracious unto him and saith, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. Now this word ransom is actually kafar or kofar. Number 3722 or 3724, and it speaks to a cover. In other words, you know, it's speaking about one interceding and one covering. See, when you turn that person from the error of their ways and you pray on their behalf and intercede on their behalf, you cover them. You know, and Yah says, you know, he's going to be gracious unto them and deliver them from the pit, for he hath found a cover. He found a covering for them. See, and this is why it's important for us, you know, to watch those that are around us, you know, and especially those of us that's in the faith, but even those that aren't in the faith, and try to be a covering for them. You know, and maybe, you know, we can keep them from going down into the pit. See, now this is what Job's friends should have been doing, rather than accusing Job of being wicked and trying to make him come clean. This is also what we should do in times such as this. You know, if we know someone going through something, hey, you know, try to reason with them, try to see what Yah is trying to tell them. If you can understand what Yah is trying to tell them, try to interpret it to them so that they can see the error of their ways. And by all means, stand in the gap, intercede on their behalf, cover them. Verse 25 says, his flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. He shall pray unto Elohim, and he will be favorable unto him. See, because when you out of the will of Elohim, he won't even hear your prayers. So you need someone to stand in the gap for you. Someone who can get a prayer through. Someone who can cover you. He's Elihu says, you know, he looketh upon man, and if any say, I've sinned and perverted that which is right and it profited me not. This is repentance. He says, Yah is looking for the ones with the repentant heart, the ones who say, I was wrong. I went against your will, Father. I was wrong. I perverted that which was right. I didn't do what was right. And it didn't profit me nothing. It got me in this mess. I understand now. Yah is looking for those who have that repentful heart such as that. Those are the ones that are acceptable in his sight. Now my next reader read verses 28 through 33.
He will deliver his soul from going into the pit, and his life shall see the light. Lo, all these things worketh Elohim, oftentimes with man, to bring back his soul from the pit, to be enlightened with the light of the living. Mark well, O Job, hearken unto me. Hold thy peace, and I will speak. If thou hast anything to say, answer me, speak, for I desire to justify thee. If not, hearken unto me, hold thy peace, and I shall teach thee wisdom.
Hallelujah. So here we see young Elihu, you know, he's speaking to Job, you know, from the heart, and he's telling him, you know, I desire to justify you. I desire to help you get back on that straight and narrow. I desire to help you get back into the good graces of Elohim. You know, he said all these things work of Elohim oftentimes with men. This is his MO. This is his method of operation, to bring back lost souls from the pit, to be enlightened with the light of the living. See, if those of us who are supposed to be the light, if we're not shedding that light into those dark souls, how are they going to see how to get out of that destined fate? You know, so when one is going through something, when the trials of life come upon us, you know, we should consider. You know, we should think and reflect, you know, is Yah's voice in this? Or did his voice come before this? Was he trying to tell me something? Is he trying to tell me something? Am I being chastised? Or is he just communicating to me? Is he trying to keep me from going in this direction? You know, I was planning on doing this, but as soon as I made up my mind to do this, this is when all this stuff started happening. Is he trying to keep me from this course of action? See, we have to consider, we have to think about these things. Is Yah speaking to me? You know, and if you're unsure, hey, maybe, you know someone who can get a prayer through. Hey, ask them. You know, what do you think about this? You know, are they walking in the light? Maybe they can see. You know, we don't have to wait until our bones are showing before we start repenting and start trying to figure out where we went wrong. You know, so Elihu dropped a whole lot of knowledge and wisdom in this passage, and you know, and not only in this, his whole sayings. You know, he has like 3 chapters. You know, the kid was talkative. He was kind of loquacious, as they say. You know, but you know, he was saying some good stuff. You know, so I just, you know, I wanted to point that out and bring that to the forefront. You know, because he was dropping some real wisdom, you know, concerning the ways of Yah. You know, some stuff that we can grab hold to and apply to our lives and benefit from. That's all I have for you today. Pray it was a blessing.